Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
So first,
Absolutely.
and I was like,
let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar.
Yes. And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is also podcast. And Meredith, let me tell you, I got to apologize at the top of the show about something.
Why?
I sound terrible. Do you hear this? I don't know what's happening to me.
I think it's worse in your head. I don't think you sound different.
Oh my God. I'm going to be sniffling all episode.
Oh.
I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, it was like, ta-da, you're sick. But I'm not sick. I think it's just allergies.
I was going to say, I've been getting a little bit more congested. And I think it's this like half spring we're in because things are flying around. But thankfully, not, at least in Chicago, not all the trees are like,
yeah,
not pollinated. Like they're not all flowery.
It's terrible.
Yet. It's gonna get worse. So buckle up. Start taking your allergy meds.
I know it's gonna get worse. Okay, great. We are going to have a great show because we love a good Saturday morning record.
We love it.
It really gets our days going. So let's do a small celebration because even the small things deserve to be celebrated. Meredith, what's your small celebration?
Well, for me, it's that the NCAA tournament is back and it is filling my time appropriately. Same. I took the Friday off to watch all of the games. And it is my favorite weekend of the year, the like first weekend. There's just so much going on, so much to talk about. And I love it.
You know what? I'm going to copy you, but on the other side of the coin, I'm watching the women's NCAA tournament. It's way better than the men's.
Yes.
And I love watching because then I know who's going into the WNBA.
True.
And let me tell you, loving women's basketball is probably the gayest thing about me, and I'm into it.
You're not gay.
I'm waiting for my gay awakening. Did I tell you what happened to someone at 30 that I know?
Really?
Oh my God, this girl, I'm like friends of friends. That's how I know this girl.
Yeah.
But she was engaged to this guy of like 9 years.
Wow.
Or she had been dating him for like 9 years and they got engaged and they lived together. And she went to a wedding that he couldn't make, which people thought was weird.
You did tell me about this.
Yeah.
And she met someone she was into.
She met a woman and cheated on her husband or her fiance with this woman and now is gay. And I'm like, I can't wait for that to happen to me.
Were you able to ask this person questions or did somebody tell you this story?
She told me it.
Okay.
But it was like in a group setting.
Dang, I was going to say, like, if you were able to ask questions, because my curious
mind goes. How do I do this?
No, I would say, like, were there other signs earlier?
Oh, interesting. I'm sure probably. Who knows? Yeah. I have one friend who loves to tell me I'm probably bisexual, which I'll also take because I love women's basketball so much. She's like, that's pretty gay. And I'm like,
let's not start that rumor that if you like women's basketball, you're not gay. Because then that'll make people not watch it even more.
Of course not. It's super straight if men watch it. That's hella
and women.
Straight.
It's okay if anybody watches it. You're gonna make this the new drag queens, the things that they ban to like not influence our children to be gay.
Do you watch? There's this girl on TikTok. She cracks me up. Her name is Jackie, and she guesses if people in women's sports are gay or straight based off their clothes or how they stand. So she'll be like, Apple Watch, gay, but the shirt, the cut, the neckline, that's giving straight, and the hairline is bisexual. And then she'll guess, and then at the end she's like, everyone put your guesses in the comments, and I guess, and then she at the end tells us if they're gay or straight. And
wait, that's so funny.
Fun. It's so funny. But yeah, I love women's basketball. The tournament's going great. 10 out of 10 so far. I'm rooting for UConn this year.
They are always solid on the women's side and men's lately, and it kind of annoys me. I don't like when people are great at both. Give me one or the other.
Listen, I didn't want UConn last year, but I think there's one senior on the team who, this is her 5th year, so she's done after this. Her name's Paige Buchers.
Yeah.
And I think she's hungry for it. I think she wants it. She's got her Nike ads. She wants this win so bad. She's got to go to the WNBA. She's going to be a star next year. And I don't want South Carolina to win again. They just won last year, you know?
That makes sense.
So
and what I love is that this tournament, compared to other sports, means a lot.
Yeah.
Just being in it and participating and getting to certain rounds, it means a lot. And then you go on to the pros, or some of them do, not everybody, obviously, but those matter too. But I feel like there's a certain spark in college basketball.
I don't know what it is about this tournament, but it's you get your you get one of the spots. Yeah, oh my God. I love the 16 seeds when they get announced and they dance their way on TV. And then they start playing and you're the 16 seeds got to play the number 1 seeds, which you're that's probably not going to go well, which it rarely does for the 16 seeds.
It's at least in men's side, it's only happened once that they've won.
Yeah, I don't know about the history of women, but I'm going to bet it's probably not good.
Not good, yeah.
Considering all the number 1 seeds this year, everyone's this will be your final 4 probably.
Which is
logistically.
That is rough to go against. But what I did learn is that, at least on the men's side, I know they're getting into this with money on the women's side. This is the first year the women's tournament has money against it. But on the men's side, those smaller teams making the tournament is huge for their program because every round you play in, you get this isn't the right amount, but $100K for 7 years. Every year you get $100K for every round that you make it in. So if you made it to the final 4 as even a smaller team, that would build your whole program up. So that's why it's so important for them to be in it too, is they get some of the revenue kickback for years after.
Oh my God, do that with women's sports. Come on.
They're getting into it. I think they're getting into it for the final games now. And you do have to ease into things. I do understand that. So I think at some point it will probably not be 100% equal, but we'll get there.
Well, I'm one of the people giving the women's my broadcasting views. I watched every game yesterday.
I just wish they were on differing days so I could consume
you
it
could
all.
Watch all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was only one almost upset, a number 4 seed was won by 1 point. University of Kentucky barely won yesterday. Some very nice Irish woman led the team. I didn't realize she was Irish. Led the team to the win, and I was the Irish really know how to ball. But oh, it's fun. UConn though today plays at 1 Eastern, and I'm pumped. That's why I have winning. So far, I have 100% on my bracket.
Nice.
I'm 100% on my women. I haven't even checked my men's.
Let's see. I get an alert every 2 hours. Right now on my men's bracket, I did one. I usually don't do one anymore because I like to just watch it and want what I want to happen in the moment. And it's usually obviously some upsets. I'm always rooting for the underdog.
I love an upset though, yeah.
But when I fill a bracket out, then I'm okay, I want to win the bracket. So
Same.
I'm no longer rooting for a lot of upsets. And I don't like that conflicting viewing experience. But my nieces and nephews really wanted to fill one out. And I was that
could be your upset one?
Well, no, this is my I'm going to crush my nieces and nephews.
Oh my God.
I'm going to win. So I have an 81% correctness. And I texted my dad because my sister and brother-in-law had to fill it out or be the account name. So it just says my sister and brother-in-law's name 3 times. I'm who is number 2 for my brother-in-law? I want to know which kid I'm up against. Which kid do I need to trash talk here?
Yeah.
And my dad's let me figure it out.
Yeah, I gotta shit on these kids pretty hard.
Yeah, and then there's one that's just tanking. I'm all right, number 3 of my brother-in-law, they're out. I hope that's the baby. They don't care.
Wait, that's extra funny because these are literally children.
Yeah, no, I'm you're going down.
We do family fantasy football, which
that.
I gave up on football this past year, so God knows I was just whatever.
Were you still playing it though?
Yeah, whatever ESPN tells me to do. Yeah, because it's it's me and my parents. We each have a team. And then it's my 2 uncles and then their kids. So there's 4 kids. But these are like asshole teenager kids who we've been playing this for like 5 years. And it's always one of the fucking teenagers to win. And my parents and I are like, this is so rude. Like, how come no one over the age of 20 has ever fucking won this game?
Yeah.
It's such bullshit.
Is it because they just know like who's doing well the best?
No, a lot of them, one of them, my goddaughter, she won twice and she just let ESPN like automatically pick her team. She didn't think about it. So this year I did that. I was like, ESPN's going to pick my fucking team. I don't even care. And the whole, because whenever like, you know, football by Thanksgiving, things could still go awry if like for real. My mom would like be first place and then she'd talk shit and then she'd get crushed. And like, it was repeated, like, it was always the bottom 4 was like me, my dad, my 2 of my uncles, and then like maybe my mom or another adult. Like we were getting crushed by these fucking children. And so this year, my dad's like, no mercy. Let's just shit talk the fuck out of them. So we're in this group chat no matter what. Just like, fuck you assholes, we're gonna win. They would always propose trades and they think I'm dumb. Like they tried going for my number 1 player and giving me 2 scrubs. And I was like,
you're like, I know more than that.
But I also only do, my team's called the Cute Boys Club. So I only draft cute boys.
I like that.
And then also I don't allow any Green Bay Packers on my team because I don't like the Packers. So
at least they're not good right now. So
yeah. And then it'd be like, if I hate Tom Brady, so I would never pick him when he was in, or like Aaron Rodgers, I'd be like, it doesn't matter to me. I can't have him on my team because I hate him. So it was only cute boys and people I liked. And this year I did the same thing. And everyone was like, let's make trades. And I would respond back and be like, denied trade. You gave me an Uggo. I can't have that on my team. And everyone's like, that's so stupid. You're going to lose. Oh my God. And every week I would crush it. I would win. And I would be like, y'all are assholes. And guess who came number 1? And then my dad was number 2. And we even said, we'll split that. Because at one point we each had to play a kid. And my dad's like, I'll help you with your team. You help me with mine. And we'll split the pot. And I was like, yeah.
You're like, I can make him prettier.
At this point, I just need bragging rights with these fucking children.
Wait, Alicia, I love that. But honestly, I think there is a link because rich people know how to look good too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like if they're rich, they have to be doing well enough to be getting good contracts.
I had, who was it? Saquon Barkley. Is that his name? The guy from the Eagles?
Saquon, I think.
Saquon Barkley. So good, first off. Has an all-women's management team.
Yes.
Ended up winning the Super Bowl. And I was
there it is. Yours is morals and beauty together.
I did want, at the beginning of the season, I was like, I want Travis Kelce, because just for the Taylor Swift of it all. Yep. And I told my mom that, and she picked him first round, and I went, excuse, you snaked me? I can't believe.
Well,
and
you cannot give up your info to competitors.
Well, she also picked Patrick Mahomes, and I said, that's a bad move because if one of them has a bad game, the other one has a bad game too.
You can't link those two together on fantasy.
I try and diversify.
Absolutely.
And then Travis Kelce ended up having a terrible season anyway. And then my mom's like, do you want to trade? And I was like, no, I got my cute boys. I don't need more cute boys. I got all my cute boys.
Too late. You know what? It was meant to be that you weren't supposed to have him.
That's what I said. I won. I looked at my mom and I was like, guess who didn't make playoffs? You. Not me.
Look at that. Shouldn't have done that.
Sorry, that was a long, small celebration.
No, it was. I have one question for you, though, as we wrap this up. I saw a TikTok that this guy was super annoyed with people's brackets when somebody would be like, oh, but I picked that in a different bracket. And so he's like, you only get to fill out one bracket. What are your thoughts on that?
Like in one, like, league?
Just in general, like people will be like, oh, I have a friends and family one and I have a work one, but in my work one I picked that upset because there was like one upset and everybody's like, oh, but I picked McNeese in my other bracket, and it's like, well, it doesn't matter in this bracket.
Yeah, I think like if I have like a thing with you and then a thing with my family, even if my bracket with you is wrong, I can't be like, but my other bracket, no. The bracket I present in that league is the bracket I get.
Talked about, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even join a league. I made 2 brackets for my own track. One was exactly what I think is going to happen, and that one's 100%.
Yep.
One is my upset, and that's 55%.
That makes sense. People said, like, you get one for your hopes and dreams. Like, your team makes it all the way. But that you're not referencing. That you're just being like, I have, you know,
I didn't even look at my upset bracket until the end of the day yesterday because I knew.
And then one where you're like, this is what I am picking and think is going to happen.
Yeah. With a little bit of hope because, you know, you make it down to the Elite Eight and you got to be like, they're all good teams. Now I just got to hope, I guess.
Well, that's just your instincts being like, this is the plan.
Paige Bucher's hungry for it, baby. She's coming. Yeah. Who do you think's winning the men's? Do you always put Kansas?
No. Speaking of Kansas, I have friends that I saw last night where they were like, how are you doing? Because Kansas lost first round, first time since 2006. But, like, they're terrible. I kept saying all last weekend, St. Patrick's Day weekend, I was like, they're not even going to be in the tournament. And people are like, you're being dramatic. And I was, but, like, I forget that my version of bad is like still decent for other teams.
Yeah.
So when I saw them, they were like, how are you? And I was like, I knew we were going to lose this. So, like, I'm fine. And Mizzou lost, who I hate. So, like, that helps sweeten the deal. And then some of my friends were like, we're really pissed at you. And I was like, why? And they were like, because we picked Kansas for you. And I said, why would you do that? Why would you do that?
I didn't even pick Kansas for me. What are you talking about?
I mean, I did because, like, they're my team. But I only had a winning one game. Like, they were not going all the way. And
so it didn't fuck up your bracket too much.
No. One of my friends is like, I have them in the Final Four. I was like, girl, that's delusional. I told you they weren't even going to make the tournament.
What seed were they?
A 7.
Oh, no, they're not making it to Final
Right?
Four.
I was like, okay, that's not my fault. This is on you people.
I mean, there are some big teams in the NCAA. Yes. Those 1, 2, 3 brackets, that's like...
I've looked up the statistics on the men's side of, like, winning. And if you are not 1 through, like, honestly 3, it is, like, so unlikely that you're going to win it. I think the lowest seed to ever win it was a 7 seed.
Huh. Yeah, no, there's, like, no hope. Okay, I'm 77% on my men's, 79% on my men's bracket, which isn't bad. I did pick Kansas, because most of the time for these basketball things, too, if you give me a 7 or 8, like 7 versus 8, I'll usually just be like, I'll pick the team I like better, the state I like better. I think Kansas was up against Arkansas. I was like, fuck it, I'll pick Arkansas, or I'll pick Kansas for that one. But then, I didn't have Kansas going any further.
That's what it is. It's like, I was talking to my friend about this. Like, you're kind of like, your losses in the round of 64 are not that destructive unless you have that team that loses go all the way. Like, she has an entire quadrant grayed out. I was like, done. You're done for.
Damn, Baylor won. See, it's like Baylor versus Mississippi State. I was like, I'm going to pick Baylor because I just like Baylor better. And they won. You just got to go with who you think who you like better sometimes.
Yeah. I have a pretty good longevity. I was pissed at that one.
I picked Vanderbilt.
They were leading the whole game and lost it.
Damn, Clemson lost? There's some upsets.
That was a great one. That was the only real upset.
I think I have Purdue winning it, but I think I always, as a joke, pick Purdue.
That's insane.
I'm just like, I bet Purdue will do it.
My winner is, because I'd already seen my family submit them, and my sister loves Duke, and I despise Duke.
Yeah.
But that I needed to be a little bit different. There was a lot of Florida and Duke, and I was like, my friends went to Tennessee, so I ride hard for Tennessee.
Okay.
So I picked Tennessee to take it all, but I don't know if they will. Seed. I hope they're not listening to this, but
I wish Gonzaga was higher up. I think Gonzaga is the funniest name in the world. I usually go a little further with Gonzaga, but they're an 8 seed, and I was like, I can't.
I love them because everybody calls them like the Zags
Gorgonzola.
Too.
Oh.
Nope.
I used to call them Gorgonzola.
And I love that nickname, the Zags. Good.
It's Gonzaga is like the funniest team.
I think it's in Washington State.
I don't even know. I couldn't
Every year I have to look it up because I forget. So don't fact check me. People are probably screaming at their phones being
Where
like,
is it?
Fact
check it really quick. Oh shit, I did have Kansas going to the Sweet 16.
That was dumb.
I don't know. The fuck did I know? I had them up against, I should have picked St. John's. They were number 2 seed. Yeah, that was dumb on my part. I got Wisconsin going kind of far. But yeah, I always
Spokane, Washington. Spokane.
Oh, nice. I always just pick Purdue as a joke.
Oh my god.
Because I grew up near Purdue. I know where it is. But
I know where it is. I was watching who are they playing? Troy against, I don't even remember because I was rooting for the underdog.
Doesn't matter.
That somebody was like, somebody was not born and raised in the US who was like learning a little bit about the tournament, like knew about it, but was like culture. Asking about our like fandom of teams. And we were like, we're not fans of this team, but like we are right now. Like we are all in on, and then we like listed 2 teams like playing at the moment.
Yeah. And
he was like, where are they? And we were like, we have no idea
couldn't tell you
where these schools are. And so we all like guessed. And somebody looked up and was like, Alabama. And I was like, all right, I didn't need to
Never
know
mind.
That.
No.
Yeah.
100% of the time, if your state name is not in the team name, I probably don't know. I mean, Purdue's in Indiana, right? Maybe?
Yeah. Oh my God, you're so funny.
But, I mean, I couldn't even tell you where Baylor is. Is that Midwest?
That's in Texas.
Oh. No idea. No clues.
It was funny because he was like, well, why are some of these states and some of these cities? And I was like, you know what? That is a good question. I don't know how we got here. How some are state schools, some are city schools, some are private schools with random ass names.
I love when it's like Alabama State versus Alabama University. And it's like, the fuck's the difference? Like Illinois State versus Illinois University. That always cracked me up. So when someone would be like, I go to school at Illinois, I'd be like, well, excuse? There's 12 different ones.
That is frustrating because ours, like, at least at Kansas, they, like, people would call it K-State or just Kansas.
Oh, yeah.
You, like, really knew the difference. But if you're like, I go to school at Illinois, it's like, I need more words.
Yeah, same though, Kansas State versus Kansas University. It's funny that there's 2. Basically.
Oh, yeah.
It's hilarious.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
So fun. Anyway, should we get into news?
Yes.
Even though this was kind of a news mix.
Yeah. It's all the same.
We're going to stick with a sportsy thing.
Ooh.
I have to tell you about. Have you heard of the Barkley Marathon?
Okay, I have from very surface level. Like, It's like an ultra marathon in the woods, right?
Yes, in the woods of Tennessee. So basically, this one guy, the creator, couldn't remember his name, didn't write it down. Doesn't matter. He has been making this trek for many a years, right? It's 100 miles in the Tennessee woods, and you have to complete this race in 60 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah, people sign up for this.
100 miles in 60 hours.
Yes.
Okay, I guess that doesn't seem insane, but
it's 5. You basically do like 5 laps total of like 20 miles.
Oh, 20, yeah.
5 laps of 20 miles, and you get 12 hours per lap. So you have 12 hours
they have
to
cutoff periods.
Yes.
So do they have a break in between, or?
I think so. You get like a recharging station.
Not part of the overall 60 hours.
No, because
okay, good. Because I was like, that you're gonna die.
Or no, it is. 12 times 5 is 60.
Yeah, but if they have basically these 20 mile,
oh yeah, they have to sleep.
15,
I'm sure. There's
like,
not
they may,
a lot of
pause the game and like.
There's not a lot of information on this. Like, it's very secretive. So it's always in the Tennessee woods, but the trek or like track or whatever, it changes every year.
Oh.
So sometimes it gets harder, sometimes it's easier, so you never know. So sometimes the same people show up and like do it. And sometimes they finish and sometimes they don't.
Because like maybe one year you get the easy route.
Yeah. So basically how it works, right, is every lap you go in a different direction. So like you'll go counterclockwise one lap, and then the next lap you have to go counterclockwise. And then the next lap you go clockwise. The next lap you go counterclockwise. And then at the fifth lap, the first person that like finished the fourth lap, they get to choose if they want to go clockwise or counterclockwise, because usually one is easier than the other, you know, because some are uphill. It just depends.
Yeah.
And so they'll pick, and then the person after them has to go in the other direction. So it's all based on like that first person and how you like.
I was going to say, like, I would think that maybe you'd want to actually choose the harder option if it was for everybody. If you felt like you were doing so well.
You go opposite. Yeah.
Oh, diabolical. Coming in second place. I would like feel like I would like go back a little bit to be in third place. But I guess you don't know where you're at either.
Yeah. And because it's like deep in the Tennessee woods, and they have to make sure these people are like, because it's an unmarked trail. So they have to make sure that these people are like on trek. So every mile there's a book, and you have to rip out the page that matches your number. So like if you're number 1, you get the first book of the page to prove that you hit the right check mark.
Oh,
isn't that crazy?
How many people have died?
I don't think anyone's died. I think people have just like not finished. But so this year it already has finished. It like had just started, and it finished, and no one was able to make the 12-hour. Like I think by lap 3, people couldn't make it, and no one finished. Like they cut it short because so last year a record-breaking 5 people finished, which is unheard of. So the creator was like, I have to make the course harder, because he was pissed. He was pissed that 5 whole people finished his course out of like more than 5.
Why do men exist?
No, literally. Also, this is how he signals. So he signals that the race will begin in an hour by blowing a conch shell, which is funny that we literally just talked about that on Summer House. And then he signals the start of the race by lighting his cigarette. And then that's how you know it's time to go.
I understand why he wants this secretive, because this is so fucking weird. He is weird. Not people wanting to race 100 miles.
Yeah.
That's normalized now.
So this has been going on for 40 years. Whoa. And only 26 total people have finished it.
I get why he was mad for 5 people to finish it last year.
So last year, not only did 5 people finish, but our first woman ever finish, which probably is really what pissed him off, because like how dare a woman finish? But her name is Jasmine Paris. And she, you know, like I said, first woman. So everyone was rooting for her. And there's only like one guy that gives live updates, because it's like in the backwoods. So no one's really there. Yeah. And you're not supposed to like spill too much. So yeah, he was like live tweeting that this woman last year was like gonna make it. She was doing really well, but she of course was like the last person. You know, she was always number 5 to finish. Yeah. Out of the 5 people that finished. So on the last lap, they start going, right? So like the first person goes one way, the second person goes the other.
Oh, because she's number 5, she probably gets the easier way too.
Maybe she was number 4, actually, because she would have gotten the hard way. But this other really nice competitor who has finished this Barclays Marathon many times before, he was like, hey, do you want to start before me so you have the easy route so you can finish? Yeah. And so he gave up his spot for her to get the easy route. And she ended up finishing with like maybe 3 minutes to spare.
Oh my God.
But she did it. I know. I'm deep in Barclays Marathon TikTok now.
Damn.
I'm not an expert by any means. This was all from TikTok.
I have seen that it all is communicated through that one guy on Twitter. Yeah. So it is secretive. So I don't really think you can be an expert either.
Yeah. He's on Blue Sky now too, if you hate Elon Musk, which I do. So, but yeah, no one finished this year. Sad. Not even a bunch of people who have done the Barclays Marathon before multiple times and finished. They They didn't make it.
Yeah, but if it's been 40 years and only 20 people have finished overall, then like I expect there are many years where people there are already many years that people don't finish.
I think there were 40 people that started. And you make it.
I just wonder how you get in on this, because they are secretive about it. Like, how do you know where to go? What's going on?
And the fact that he blows a conch shell an hour before, so you already have to be in the woods.
That's just, I think, a bit.
But, okay, if it happens in an hour, how long am I waiting in these woods? Like, you can't blow the conch shell and I'm not in Tennessee.
No. These people, like, are on some email list. And they know.
Oh, so they're like, in a week it's happening. But then you have to literally, because no one knows what time it starts at. It starts at different times. So you're camping in Tennessee woods. And then this guy's like, you know what? I think 8:35 in the morning is going to be a good time. So he'll blow it at 7:35. So you don't know how long you're there.
The Twitter guy is like, all right, conch shell blown. Let's go.
Yeah, but you already have to be in the woods is my point. So you're
Does it happen the same like weekend every year or same time frame?
I assume it
so
can't
you at
be
least
when it's
know
like
to
that
be
cold.
In the general area.
You think you just hear the conch? You're like living here all spring waiting for the conch shell to be.
I hope so.
I'm sure they tell the athletes like, this is the week.
Yes.
Or maybe this is like 3 days, be ready. And then you just have to live near the start point.
Yes.
And then one day this guy's like, conch shell, and you gotta be like,
I'm ready.
In an hour. So I start like dressing, going to the bathroom, fueling up. And then he's like, light my cigarette. Let's go.
Let's go, bitch.
Yuck. But yeah, that's my news. I found it really fascinating.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm. That's good stuff.
Good luck to next year's competitors, especially the women.
No, truly. Do you have any news?
I have one thing. Okay. I saw Sheena Shea got a tattoo of a bat to represent her time on The Masked Singer. And I was like, why?
Oh, I was cracking up at the clips of her with her like voice fucked up, but she's like, oh my God, it's so cute. And I was like, I Sheena. In a second.
I wouldn't have thought The Masked Singer was such a monumental moment, but I wonder if it has to do with her like postpartum OCD, like if she just hasn't done many things.
Didn't she get like voted off or like voted off in like episode 1?
I don't know. I don't understand how that show works personally.
I don't either, because Jenny McCarthy's on that show and I hate her.
Yes, rightfully so.
I won't give her a view.
But yeah, I don't know. I was like, oh, a bat is on your arm now.
Do you remember when The Masked Singer was announced as a show? And
no.
I do, because I saw a commercial of it. I was still living at my parents because my dad and I saw it. And he went, what a stupid show. It won't go past one season. And it's literally like everyone's favorite show. But it cracks me up. I don't follow it. But sometimes I'll somehow get on Masked Singer, TikTok, Instagram. I don't know. And people will be like, I bet it's Barack Obama in there. I'm like, Barack Obama's not
God.
He's not in the Slinky costume. Like, what are you fucking talking about?
You're thinking like high level celebrities, and it's not going to be that.
Oh, it's probably Beyonce. No, it's probably not.
In no world is it Beyonce in there.
Oh, Taylor Swift's coming on The Masked Singer. No, she's not. These are all washed up stars being judged by Jenny McCarthy, the anti-vax princess. Like, I fucking hate everyone on this show. I don't even know who else is on it.
I have no idea.
Judge it. I'm looking up the
But
judges.
I agree with you. I was like, I don't get this concept. Well, like, I've never looked into the concept, I guess. But like, it's not for me. But I wonder if, no shame to these people, but this is just not the TV that I watch. If it's all the people who also keep like The Voice alive and American Idol, like they like those type of competition shows.
I don't understand how people get voted off. Is it just like they were a bad singer with their fucked up voice?
When they're singing, it's really them.
Oh, you're right. Oh.
I don't know. And I've heard that the judges have a list of who's competing. America doesn't know. So like America is like blindly picking random
Barack
people.
Obama.
Yeah. But the judges are like, I really think it's so-and-so. And they're actually on.
Oh, if they guess it right, does that mean you're voted off?
No, I think they just guess when they've already been voted off and are about to do the reveal. And that's just like an added layer of, imagine like American Idol if it was like blind.
Oh, okay. So it's Ken Jeong, the guy from the Hangover.
Right?
Yeah, he's fine, I think. He was in Community too. I don't think he's anything terrible. Oh, Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg. Fuck her, my number one enemy. Nicole Schwartzinger. Oh, hate her.
I don't know
Hate her. Hate her MAGA ass too. And Robin Thicke, who I'm pretty sure has hooked up with younger women. Oh my God. Like young girls. Literally, who's watching this fucking show? Anyone? Rita Ora? Who's been on? Who's been on The Masked
Tom
Singer?
Sandoval was on it once. I want to know how much they pay those people to be on it.
Like, do they win? Like, I know Amber Riley won, but I don't know what it takes to win this show. Does that make sense?
And is there a prize money? Like,
I literally don't.
It's the
Nick
people
Cannon
who watch,
hosts it.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It's the people who watch the like primetime TV shows. That just isn't me. I'm a streamer now. I don't live on real TV.
Okay, I'm looking at who was on like these recent seasons. Boys to Men was on here. Mario, AJ Mashaka. My God. Some baseball player. Jana Kramer. Jana Kramer, you could do better. What are we doing? Drake Bell. I don't think she can. You go. Drake Bell was on the show.
I don't think like Jana Kramer, like let's say they pay $100,000 for you to just show up. Like all these people who are not doing as much, not offensively, they're just like not on TV shows or
That's
not.
True. They're not doing anything.
I would if somebody paid me $100,000, I'd be on it.
Bethany Hamilton, that
the
surfer
girl with one arm.
Yeah, I guess what was the Soul Surfer? I guess stopped paying her royalties, and she had to go on the show.
Stop.
Andy Ricker, who's that? Cole. Oh my God, I don't know any of these people.
I don't know either.
Vanessa Hudgens was on the show. Oh my God, Jason Street from Friday Night Lights did this. Can he even sing?
My God.
What if you can't sing?
No, most of these people cannot sing. I think that's half of the bit.
Clay Aiken was on the show?
That's just not fair if some people can sing.
That, though, checks out if Clay Aiken's doing this show. What else is Clay Aiken doing?
Speaking of Clay Aiken.
Colton Underwood? Sorry, go on.
That's crazy. He was on it. And American Idol. I've been seeing some TikToks. Again, another show I don't watch, but somehow get on my For You page, that there have been at least 2 people who have tried out for this season of American Idol whose parents are like famous singers, and the parents go in to the audition with them. And it's like, oh, so this is the Nepo baby season. Like, let your child sing for themselves and just be good or not. Like, be the parent sitting in the back room being like, I hope they get their ticket.
That's how you know the kid's not good.
Yeah.
Like, if your kid was actually good, you'd be like, just go in there and do what you do. If it's not good, it's like, this is my face. This is why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Who's the judge on American Idol now?
Carrie Underwood's on it.
Yuck.
I know.
Katy Perry.
I don't know if she's on it this
Lionel
season,
Richie.
He's on it.
And Luke Bryan?
I was going to say, I think another country artist.
See, once you got rid of the magic that was Simon Cowell, Paula Abdul, and Randy Jackson, it's a no from me, dog. That was iconic. It's a no from me, dog. I still say that sometimes.
Oh, same. I feel like in this era of media we're getting a little lazy with ideas and concepts of shows, and we're just re-upping things. Same with movies. Like we just keep continuing series when we don't need to. Like, let's come out with a new idea.
You know what I love to do now? You're going to laugh. When guys are like, oh, I love Marvel and I have to watch all 20,000 movies. I go, oh, so you're a Disney adult? because you're just as obsessed.
That's
How are
so
you going to
true.
judge me for watching 11 seasons of a bunch of hot waiters argue and cheat on each other, but you're going to watch Marvel
20
movies? You're a Disney adult. You're a
Alicia,
Disney adult.
That's so good. I think about that. I saw
All
someone
the time.
tweet that it's acceptable for guys to be a Disney adult about their sports teams and wear
No,
their
literally.
jerseys at the most inappropriate times. But somebody's excited to go to a theme park and they're just reamed.
No, literally, I hate men.
I do hate most Disney adults, I think, are like the like
Disney
hardcore
adults.
ones. But if you're just into something, women get shamed for it.
I hate Disney adults. I also hate men who are like, oh, Taylor Swift is like a literal cult. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you're shirtless in -3-degree weather with your chest painted, shouting for other boys to touch each other. Let's talk about it.
You're not wrong.
Let's talk about it. And on this subject, Meredith, I would like to share something with you. So I came across this creator on TikTok. Her name is Miss Frizzyhead. And she made a list of a bunch of argument enders when you're arguing with people like in this political climate.
Yeah.
That I just want to share a few because some of them had me gagged. Some of them I was like, maybe. But
Let's
I
hear it.
pictured myself arguing with my MAGA side of the family.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is hilarious. So even the Pope doesn't like Trump. You could start there if we're on
That one's
Jesus.
really good because I am deep in the Catholic group.
There you go. Jesus was a brown socialist. If we're going to talk about it. Okay.
You're not wrong.
You have elevated the tone of your voice, but not the logic of your reasoning.
I've seen that one.
Had me
I really
gagged.
like that one. Because
I
like
was
that works
gagged.
across the board on anything. Like you want to argue with me? Good luck.
We're not educationally compatible for this discussion to continue.
I feel that way about a lot of
Gagged.
things.
Wisdom has always chased you, but boy, you were fast. That one, gagged. It's wild you think it's okay to say that. Just if you want to if you really want to shut him up. It's wild you think it's okay to say that.
I saw somebody say, like, if somebody's like typing it, like, so if it's over text, you say, oh, I think that was meant for the notes app. And if they're speaking it, you're like, oh, those are some inside thoughts. I think they escaped.
I love it. I am not a safe person for you to say that to.
I am that energy often.
That's awesome. You have overestimated the importance of your opinion in my life.
Yes.
I can explain it to you all day long, but I can't understand it for you.
That one
Gagged.
kills. Some of these I think because people are so dumb would go over their head though.
Same. I think they would try to rebuttal and I would just repeat.
Land the way I want it to. Like that burn.
I'm glad you found someone who represents your ethical and moral beliefs, but yours differ from mine.
I like that one. I think that one would hit them.
You're not capable of understanding how poor your argument is, but that hasn't stopped you yet from being wrong so frequently. Like, damn. This one's my favorite. I have been wanting to use this one forever. At the end of the day, you voted for someone who is endorsed by the KKK. There's that woman on TikTok who's like, for the rest of your life.
You have to
know. You're sitting at a table Jesus would have flipped.
I think about that constantly. Like, what radicalized you? I'm like, I went to Catholic school where my motto was not I, but we.
That's
like, what do you mean what radicalized me? I had to do service hours.
I loved, you reposted it, but this woman on TikTok who was like, let them teach the Bible in schools. Why do you think I am the way I am?
I'm not
Yikes.
joking. I am like, I don't know how this was allowed at my Catholic high school, but I had a social justice class as one of my religion classes. And I was telling my therapist about this the other day, and she was like, that is kind of wild. And I was like, I think because they did put it under the guise of pro-life, But I will say they weren't so hardcore about abortion about it. They also were talking about the death penalty. And I was like, all right, my whole thing is also, if you're going to believe in pro-life, be so
You're
fucking
pro-life
pro-life.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you can get me on that, sure. But like, be consistent
You're
about it.
pro
And
all
like,
lives.
be the life, like also the life, not just pro-birth.
If you're pro-life, Black lives have to matter to you.
Yes.
Like,
So like,
come
that's
on.
how I grew up, a pro-life mindset of like,
Yeah.
no, like, I just don't want people dead type of mentality,
go.
which is like,
Okay.
I'm sure most people also agree,
Great.
even if they're pro like choice, they just don't want people dead. And I just, this whole class, like, I just had the
So
best conversations. And obviously there were people in high school who did not care about any of this stuff,
No.
but I did. I loved it. So like, I guess that's where I came from.
I once in high school wrote a paper on merciful euthanization.
That's
Is that what
insane.
it's called? Where
I
like,
think so. Where you
if
like
your
put somebody,
quality
like
of life
if
isn't,
somebody has like cancer, yeah.
Yeah, I wrote pro. If you want to die, you have
That's
a
something
right
we
to.
debated in this class is like, at what
Yeah.
point is it like you want people alive, but at what cost?
At what
and
cost?
Like, what's kind of the agenda behind the death of things? And a lot of like, I'm so anti-death penalty because I don't care what people have done wrong. I just don't think like an eye for an eye is the mentality.
Yeah.
Like, I would never want to be a part of that system because I feel like the government we all are operating under, like, still some of that blood is on my hands because like that's my government. And yeah, I think it's always the like reason behind it, like what's happening.
Yeah. I just think it's crazy at 18. That's what I wrote a paper about
I
in
love
my parents'
that.
basement.
That's
This
the
is my
thing.
new favorite. You're speaking with a level of confidence you're not entitled to have.
That I think
Boom.
would hit some men the right way.
No, literally. And then a bunch of them are like, you know, you're not in the right tax bracket for people to care about you.
That
Well, Jesus had 2 dads, and Catholics are okay with that. Boom.
ooh, a little blended family action.
So, like Judas, you sold the people for 30 pieces of silver. Boom. that was crazy.
That one I haven't heard.
Crazy.
That one hits.
That one's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, imagine this one my dad has used at one of my cousins when my cousin was like bitching about this one trans creator. Like, I don't know what it was about this trans creator that like blew my cousin's mind. But my dad literally looks at him and goes, "Why do you have the time to care about this? Like, what how are you spending your days?"
I started to tell people like, wow, I didn't realize you were so interested in like what is underneath somebody's pants. And they're like, I'm not. And I'm like, well, you are. Like,
You
I
are.
don't want to talk
Shut
about
up.
this with you, but you're very obsessed with what happens when somebody goes to the bathroom.
There's a bunch of them. If you're interested, Miss Frizzyhead, she also has a ongoing Google Doc about things that like people might say, like abortion is killing a baby, and then it's like actual facts and links, and
Love
like
that.
she has a whole argument, or like, my vote was for the abortion issue and nothing else. And it's like, okay, this is how you can respond. This is links. These are facts.
I get so angry when people
fun.
say that anybody who votes liberal is a one voter issue because like that's insane. That's
Crazy.
insane. I'm not.
Crazy. Oh, good times. But yeah, so Miss Frizzyhead getting me through 2025 so far. Thank you, girly.
This year is just passing so slowly. So hoping for the best.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Should we get into reading, watching, and listening?
Yes. Tell me what you've been reading.
Okay, so I'm still reading the you know my vampire book author.
The one where like they had like 2 different, I'm gonna call them factions of vampires.
Yes.
And then like the enemies to lovers because
Yes.
that guy took over and like killed her dad.
That was crazy.
And then but he's like trying to protect her, but like being like, she's my servant. She's like, what the hell? And he's like, but I love you. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so that author. I've been reading another series by her. So I read the first book, which was Daughter of No Worlds. And it started slow, but it picked up in the end. And now I'm on the second book called Children of Fallen Gods. And honestly, it kind of hits so far.
What a name for a book.
It's the War of Lost Hearts series. That's what the series is called. And the third one, when I read it, will be called Mother of Dawn and Death.
Okay.
Or Death and Dawn. Sorry, my bad. But they kind of hit so far. It's like an interesting read. It's always about, the little people who have been marginalized their whole life. We're fighting back. We're fighting the good fight. So
we love it.
It's getting me through. I do really just want an easy read after this, though.
Oh my God. No, you don't. You love complicated series like this. You'd be bored.
That's it, is I get bored. I think I need, like, once I'm on vacation, I love an easy read.
Yeah.
But
where you can just pick up and read, like, one chapter no matter what you're doing. Whereas like the ones you're reading now are like the I need to keep going type books.
Yeah. But basically this book is about a slave woman who tries to buy her freedom and then ends up having to fight for her freedom. And then she does escape. But her freedom is, she thinks she's safe, but she's actually not because there are bad rulers everywhere trying to use her for her powers.
You know what? I realize why they want to ban these books.
I get it, but it's not going to happen. I already got it left in my mind. And then there's like this magical force they put within her. So she's extra powerful, but she can't control it. So she's like killing innocent people. And now she's trying to like control the force and figure that out. She obviously falls in love with a guy who fought in this original war, who's now scarred from that war because he used to have this really like magical force within him, and the force got really jealous of his family, so like this guy killed his whole family because the force made him. So now he's like so anti this government that owns this force and wants to put in other people, but now the love of his life has this force within her.
Oh my God,
it's kind of crazy. There's a lot of complex things happening that I have had to follow along with. And now they introduce a new character in the second book that like I don't know how she intersects with the other story yet.
Are they building it correctly, though, where you're, like, easing into who this person is?
I'm interested. She is, so from what I've gathered, is the first two people in the book, the slave and the guy she falls in love with, and everyone else, they're humans with magic powers.
Okay.
This new girl, I think her name's Ify. Her and her world is Fae. But one of the Fae houses that she, like of the Fae kingdom, was just attacked by a bunch of humans. And the Faes were like, how does that happen? Humans fucking suck. And they're like, no. These humans are crazy magic. And so now we got to fight the humans. And I'm like, they're going to fight or something.
Something I appreciate about the fantasy world is it's consistent in terminology and ideas. Like
it's always just spelled different. Like, but it's the same words.
That's
like
true.
Fae in this book is Fey.
I don't like that.
But in ACOTAR is FAE, which is also kind of crazy. It's all crazy. But terms, we all know. We all know what a Fae is.
Because I think that is needed because you need to have some consistency in worlds that don't exist.
Are you a fan of Brittany Broski at all? She does the royal court that she has where she interviews celebrities and it's like a bit. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Okay, she does this bit where she'll interview celebrities, but it's like for them to be a part of her royal court.
Oh, I love that.
And so it's kind of like it's a really funny bit. And she basically like asks them random questions about their career, but then is like, if you were to sell something in my kingdom, what would you sell? And people are like, I don't know, pickled onions. And she's like, God. But why? But then like, it's funny. It's like all a big joke.
Yeah.
But she interviewed Cole Sprouse, and these two, they had magic. These two, the chemistry.
They were building the world out.
Oh, no, the chemistry was so good. Like he played into all of her bits. But at one point, she's like asking him questions, and he's like not really answering. And she goes, okay, well, I'm out of questions. So what should we do? And he's like, oh no, I don't know. And she's like, do you have any questions for me? And he's like, yeah, what's your favorite mythical creature? And she
Oh
goes,
my
no, that's
God.
actually really interesting. Did you know there's a difference between a wyvern and a dragon? And he was like, yes, it depends on the placement of the legs and like how long they are. And she's like, oh my God, how'd you know that? Because Brittany Broski is a very avid fantasy reader.
Yeah.
She's like, how'd you know that? And he's like, I had a bowl cut for 15 years. You don't just adopt celibacy. Like, I know the difference. And I'm like, I'm glad we all know the difference between a dragon and a wyvern. Like, I'm glad this is the
Becoming
mythical
common knowledge
creatures
now.
we all know.
Well, it's funny because like now that reading has become like a big thing again for like the masses. Like obviously reading was always out there, but it's become very mainstream.
Yeah.
And that fantasy is becoming more mainstream. It is very interesting to see how like the tables are turning.
Yeah, it was just so funny. I recommend, if you need a good laugh, the Brittany Broski Royal Court with Cole Sprouse. I have never not like laughed so hard. It was so funny. Anyway. That's all I'm reading right now.
I'm not reading anything per usual.
Oh my God.
I tried to read this book about my family and the therapy book, and it was just too much. So I really didn't help myself.
I want to read the Let Them theory. Even though I already know the theory, I think I want to read the book.
I like that.
Have you heard the theory?
Yeah, because it's like
it's things you can't worry about, things that you can't control. You just have to let them happen. Which for the most part, I feel like I'm this type of person, but would love to continue to educate myself.
I feel like, because I have like different circles of like, obviously like as people are closer to me, and I feel like the closer people are to me, the less I instill that theory. Like people I care less about, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like there's very specific people that I just don't, not in a mean way, not in a like malicious way. I just don't care what's going on with them, what they do, I guess how they treat me. Like it's just like whatever. But the like people very, very close to me, I like care way more. So it's like, how do you also adopt that theory? Like, worldwide.
No, that's a good point. I did see her on Jake Shane's podcast.
Yes.
And it was just a clip, but it was pretty brutal because she's like, Jake Shane, you're single because you don't actually love yourself. And I was like, yo, woof. And I understand his podcast is like therapy, but
yeah.
It was crazy.
I saw an unrelated TikTok where, it was one of those where people were like about dating, and then people are like, oh man, like, I just can never find people. And I'm like, yeah, but we also like don't put ourselves in the right situations. Like we purposely kind of sabotage ourselves or living a life that doesn't like lead us to the right things. Like I know I sabotage things. Like I know I am not looking for a real sound relationship.
I don't make it. I've had to, because I think for a long time dating, like, and it's still really not a priority to me. But then I'd be like, why am I single? And it's like, because you don't care about this thing.
Yeah.
Like I wish I did. The only reason I want to date someone is so I can constantly just book trips for us. That is the only reason, which is not a good enough reason to like date someone.
And because that's your only reason, like you're not going to go and find the right person for that because you're looking for one niche thing that like,
I know.
I guess you could find them on a trip if you solo traveled and like you both happen to be solo traveling, but
I guess, but immediately I'm like, could I see myself traveling with this person? No, they're not my soulmate. Like I'll cut it so quick. But also dating, like I said, isn't a priority to me. So I just don't do it. And then my family's like, why are you single? And I'm like, because I don't care. Because
it's like I do, but I don't. It's something that interests me, but I'm not actively working on it.
It's like if it happened, great, but I'm not going to go out of my way like I'm not going to change my life to have it happen. Is kind of my thing.
And how there are like people who are chronically in relationships. I'm so chronically not in a relationship that I'm the opposite of those people.
Same.
Like, I love my exact life and I don't know how to welcome somebody into the areas that just are in life. I'm like, I want to be alone. I don't want anybody sleeping in my bed. I want to be alone.
to wake up next to someone is crazy.
I know, because I was telling my therapist, like, then you have to, like, talk to someone and entertain someone, and how do you get somebody to leave? And she was like, those are your thoughts? And I was like, yeah, like, I don't want somebody in my own zone. She was like, that's not what you should be thinking about, though. You should just be relaxed and, like, present.
There's the problem. Therein lies. I was talking to someone at work, was like, oh my God, I have a ton of single friends. Like, what's your type? And I was like, I don't know. It's really hard to describe at this point because, like, what do I know? And she's like, are you needy? And I was like, not really. No, probably not. And she goes, because I have a lot of friends who work as, like, lawyers, so they don't have a lot of free time. I go, ideal. Ideal, maybe a once a week hangout. I'll never really bug them. If anything, I'll just send them a bunch of memes and they never need to respond. Yeah. That's fine. And she's like, yeah, they just don't have a lot of time to date, so they don't, but they're looking for someone who's, like, also busy in their life. And I was like, that's my type. That's it. Also, they're Canadian citizens. And I was like, that's my type. That's my type.
I am willing to move to New York. I'm ready.
Yeah, that's my type.
I am only needy in that when I do have your time and energy, I want you to want to be there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I can tell, like, when people are just not interested. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I don't want a mundane sitting next to somebody on a couch watching a show. I want to both be interested in things together when I'm with someone. Like, I am not needy, except whenever I've had, like, 3 glasses of wine, because for some goddamn reason, wine makes me so emotional. Yeah. But, like, on a Sunday through Thursday basis,
we're good. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't need you to chat with me all day. I'm fine.
Let me know you're alive. If I find a funny video on Instagram, I'll send it to you. But that's about the extent of what I need from you during the week.
Yeah. And then, like, when we do have free time, I want to be all in. I want to be at the bar this weekend watching NCAA tournaments.
I agree.
Like, I want to be loving the same things.
Should we just date each other? Like, what the fuck?
Italy, here we come.
Italy, we're coming. I gotta follow up with my mom. I feel like we got scammed. I'm still fucking waiting for I
hate that.
My shit. Okay, what are you watching besides NCAA?
I finally did it because for the people, Alicia sent me 3 voice memos about a week ago that she had finished Vampire Diaries, and I paused it and said, I'm not listening to these. I haven't finished, but I will. I will finish, and I did it. I finished yesterday. Mm-hmm. I listened to Alicia's voice memos about the show and the ending, and I cannot believe we're done here.
Thank God. I think, again, seasons 1 through 6, I can get behind.
I don't think
even that was a little long.
We didn't mind the ending. But we both agreed
it made it to die.
It made it feel like a show. It wasn't like, oh, these people live on.
Yeah, it was, which I think a lot of shows do. Like One Tree Hill did this too, where they all show, but not the people who have been written off, which was kind of crazy.
Oh, see, I think I black out season 9 of One Tree Hill. So
they ended it in the future at Jamie Scott's basketball game.
Yes.
But they didn't bring back like a lot of people. They didn't bring back anyone. It was just the people that were still on the show.
Which, like, those people didn't live in the town, so they wouldn't just be at a random basketball game.
Yeah, but, like, you're going to tell me you can't pay to get Chad Michael Murray back for one fucking moment. But, my God, the Vampire Diaries, 90% of the cast died, and they all showed back up.
I really liked that.
I was like, Jesus, hell.
I was like, oh, here we go.
What's Jenna doing here? For real? Jeremy came back. I was like, Tyler was there.
I didn't like that they like built that school. I was like, we have a school just to also have more people, like supernatural people in this town that is just suffering. Like Matt just wants these people out of this town. You're now hoarding them in this boarding school.
I love the idea that like they have been terrorized by mythical creatures for over 9 years because we had a time jump, but definitely 9 whole seasons. And now you're like, let's just hone them all together and we can teach them how to use their powers for good. You're basically doing Hogwarts, and like Voldemort will be there at some point.
You know, like, that could be a spinoff show.
No, stop. I have to
About
watch the
school.
originals now. I got to finish that up. The originals is actually good. I just couldn't do both at the same time. It was too much crossover. I'm still team Caroline and Klaus.
Well, she got that letter now that Stefan is dead. She got the money from Klaus, and I screamed at my TV, and I was like, hell yeah, here we go.
No, I'm still Caroline and Klaus. I'm still team Catherine. I love when Catherine shows up. Fuck Elena. Catherine was the superior character in all aspects. She was so funny. Like, she was so fun. Her and Damon, their energies were just palpable.
Agreed.
I was eating it. Like, oh my God.
I told you, I sent you a voice memo when I saw Catherine there when the coffin was open and it was like she cosplayed as Elena again. I was like, oh, I miss this.
That was the worst part of Elena being gone, was that we no longer got Catherine.
Yeah, Nina Dobrev like not being on the show. Yeah.
I loved though when it was like talks of her being back, and so they're like, we'll have Stefan get married, so she's back. And I was like, I hope she's so pissed, dude. I hope she comes in.
I was so sad,
fucking mad, dude.
When like, because they obviously thought she was like gonna come herself, and then Julie fucking Cooper walks up.
Julie Cooper Nickel.
I was like, no.
I love that actress. Whenever she plays a shitty mom, oh, Julie Cooper Nickel is one of the greatest teen drama characters of all time. So
and then
the
her
fact
being
that
like,
she's Matt's shitty mom is
I know,
so
but then her being
funny.
like, I died 2 years ago and nobody noticed. I was like,
so sad. That's so Julie Cooper Nickel coded. Like, it's so crazy.
I was like, you were a shitty mom and you ran away, so yeah, you deserve to die with
Matt's
nobody around.
dad should have died sooner. What the fuck was his dad doing here? Matt should always be alone. He shouldn't have parents. You bring his dad?
I need his sorrow. To be honest, it should have been like a random uncle who like told him about his family. Where I did like him finding out that he did have like heritage in this town where he thought he was on the outside the whole time.
I want Matt to be sad
that really,
always.
really would have helped me growing up.
No. My favorite bit was Damon hating Matt for 9 seasons. That was
because we constantly have to save him because he's the only human.
But how is he alive? How is he not? Tyler, Elena, Bonnie, they've all died like 40 times. Also,
especially after Matt literally jumped in the pool with those weights from the weight room to die to see Vicky and talk to her.
Literally, who saved him? Caroline, Bonnie? What a waste!
I don't know.
What a waste of your powers. I also am still mad at the writers for how many times Bonnie had to sacrifice for Elena. It wasn't worth it. Bonnie's a powerful witch from the Bennett line, and Elena is hanging out with Jeremy in her spare time. No. One of these is better than the other.
I'm really happy that she broke the curse thing that I still don't understand, and now she doesn't have to die for Elena. Like, at least she now gets to live.
No. Thank God, because isn't Elena dead? No, she's alive.
She's alive now. Bonnie was able to like wake her up, I guess, without having to die herself, because their lives were linked and now it's unlinked.
The ending was confusing because I think at some point they die, and that's when she's walking through this neighborhood where she sees all her dead family, and then Damon's reunited with Stefan, right?
I think it's because, well, this actually doesn't make sense now that I'm about to say this. Confused. I thought it was because hell was destroyed, so I think all the people who went to hell at first were walking around, but then like Elena's parents were not in hell, so I don't know how their souls got released.
I think like they were reunited in death.
Oh,
because didn't Damon and Elena have the cure in them? So they died at some point.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, Stefan, I think, inserted the cure into him, right? Did I make this up?
I don't think in him, but he could have gotten the cure and not off screen.
Someone got the cure when they were fighting with Catherine.
Did.
Oh, and she
died.
Not
with Catherine. It's that
when they were holding Catherine so she would die with them, and Damon's like, "Let me do this for us, brother." And Stefan's like, "No."
Stefan stab him with it and then push him out of the fire and took.
It got too complicated. This whole series why were there sirens? What were if you had the originals, have there be the originals. There doesn't have to be 12 other vampiric families that we have to like
that have like been around since the beginning of time, but now we're scared of them in season 4. I didn't like the whole hell stuff with like Cade. I was like, we never spoke about this before. And now we're worried about this and this stupid bell that like rings fire after 12 dings. What's diabolical is that the family that makes it, if they ring it, they can put fire everywhere.
I don't know. I didn't follow any of this. I will say though, my favorite addition twist was the twins, the evil twins, Kay and Joe. Yeah. Because or Kai. I loved Kai as a character. I found him absolutely hilarious. And absolutely hilarious.
I believed in that addition because these are just two witches that have been living and now have crossed our paths. Like
Joe was living, she was at the college, and Kai was dead.
But they were like introduced to us in the right way, where it's like these aren't like legends of families. Yeah, it's just like people we just met.
No, but I'll go to bat. Kai needed to return, and harder than he did. He was he's up there with Catherine for me. Yeah. Like such a good, sometimes there's just a good villain, and he was such a good, I love when a villain,
when they have good banter is like key.
I hate when a villain is just like mean and evil. I want them to be a little funny.
A little spicy. Yeah.
Like, you know how Damon was kind of seen as the villain too for a little bit? Yes. That was funny though. Like when he was like, kind of pushing Stefan's buttons. It was kind of fun. It was creepy how he was dating high schoolers, but
absolutely
we can move on from that, I guess.
I do actually like the story arcs that like Stefan is this like purist, perfect person, and then he like as the series goes on, he like has his Ripper moment. So then he like slowly is like going down on like how you think of him, and Damon is going up. Like you kind of have the reverse.
I liked it. I do have to say though, my favorite part of this whole series was when Caroline, she turned her humanity off. I thought that was so good. This actress, Candace, whatever, she did so good at that. I loved watching Stefan trying to save her. And I love how she literally was like, I'm going to turn it off for a little bit. Let me do this. And everyone was like, no, even though the rest of us have done it, you're not allowed to. And she's like, oh my God, my mom just was like brutally murdered.
I need to turn it off for those reasons. Do it.
And she did. And it was beautiful and it was hilarious.
I think they needed to guardrail her for sure. Like they kind of did. Like she doesn't need to be all Ripper, but like let her turn her emotions off. And
she was great. And then everyone who tried to stop her, she said, I'll try to kill you. And then she tried to kill everyone who tried to stop her. Yep. Great. That was perfect. I loved her and Stefan together turning it off. It was terrible. It was truly a terrible show, and I loved every second of it.
I did and I didn't. I will probably still only watch seasons like 1 through 3.
No, you got to watch. When Caroline, I keep saying Caroline because of Traitors. When Caroline and Stefan get to season 6 was so good.
You love them together. It just doesn't hit for me in the same way. It feels like, oh, we're both 30 and single. Let's get married. That's the vibe
There was something, I mean, after when they were like getting back together and like their marriage, that was kind of fucking weird. But when he's like kind of pining for her and she's kind of pining for him, and then her mom dies and he falls in love with her and now she's like, not for me. Like the will they won't they, I was really eating the fuck up.
I just found it weird.
If Klaus shows up, I gotta watch.
At Stefan and Caroline's wedding, when she was like, from the moment I saw you, I'm like, you cannot bring it back to high school because like he was all in on Elena. So
yeah, but she was in on him.
I know, but I can't have it.
It got weird once Alaric got in the picture. That was weird. Why is a teacher dating his ex-student?
Okay, but I think it got very cleared up that they weren't like dating. They were just like having a family together, which that I don't mind.
You're not going to sit here and tell me Alaric wasn't in love with her.
I think he was in love with the idea of being married to like the quote unquote mother of his children because like the real one was dead. I think he was just like harboring the need for like a holistic family because his almost wife died on their wedding day.
God, name a character I hate. It's Alaric.
I didn't like when he was like pouting and didn't really want to go to Stefan and Caroline's wedding. It's like, you guys weren't ever in love. Like this was never that.
No, it's literally, he was exhausting. But overall, can we all agree Caroline was the best character in the series?
Yeah, and she really got shafted 99.9% of the time.
The fact that she finally got what she wanted and then her husband dies is crazy. That was crazy.
I did love that Bonnie had to turn him into a human to like save Elena. I didn't mind that. I think that was a pretty funny twist.
Did I miss this whole part? Had to turn Stefan into a human.
Yeah,
I
when
do remember.
He killed Enzo,
Yeah.
And then he comes into the house. She was like, "Well, he like said something," and she was like, "Well, nope, you're gonna be a human." And I was like, "Damn,
get him, hell yeah."
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm watching Real Housewives of Orange County.
Oh yeah, you're catching up.
Well, I'm starting it. I'm on season 3.
You never watched it?
I've only ever watched like seasons 1 and 2. So I've made it further than I ever have.
Well, what a time, because they just hit their 19-year anniversary of the first season airing, which like changed the world.
I am on season 3. I watch it at work. So it's like my background noise.
So Tamara's in.
She's very tame compared to what I know she's going to turn into so far.
Yeah.
I would like to say, so I am fascinated by Tammy's family with the 3 kids.
Yes.
2 kids, 3 kids.
I can't remember.
And well, it's the daughters, Lindsay and I love how we follow the kids a lot because they're kind of interesting.
This is what we're missing from the modern era of housewives.
I enjoy following Lindsay and Megan. I think they're interesting. And then the Gina Keogh's kids.
Yeah, does she have a daughter and a son, right? Or is it 2 sons?
2 sons. Okay. Shane, Kara, and Colton.
Okay.
Shane plays baseball. And
that makes sense why you told me that you'd seen him play baseball. I was like, where is this coming from?
Oh my God. Did I tell you this? I don't think I told you this.
You texted me it, I thought. But it was in like a mass of other stuff.
I wrote it in our notes. I wrote it in our notes. I have had to have seen Shane play baseball because at the time this was airing, he was playing for the Kane County Cougars in Illinois, and I would go watch as a kid the Kane County Cougars.
I've actually been to a game of theirs too, but
so I think I've seen Shane Keogh play baseball.
I think mine was before he got on the team.
I mean, what was season 3? It had to have been 20.
Well, let's see.
Or 2005.
2025
6,
minus 19 plus 3. It's 2009 when this is airing. So 2008 probably when it's filmed.
I was totally going to Kane County Cougars in 2008. That's like middle school. Yeah. I couldn't drive. I was with my parents all the time. Yeah. No, that's funny. I will say though, Cara, one of the Gina Keogh's daughter, she goes to Berkeley and she's like, I'm just hiding that I'm a Republican. And I was like, yo, it's a little yuck, like crazy. And I mean, at the reunions, Andy's like,
that was also a different world of being a Republican.
Yes.
So it wasn't as bad as this, but like, she wanted to hide it even in that era.
Yeah. I mean, she was in Berkeley's a very liberal school.
Yes. But I'm just saying, like, it's not like we were going against judges' orders.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Andy did ask the ladies in the season 1 reunion how they voted, and they were like, we're all Republicans.
That doesn't shock me.
Yike. But I mean, on Jersey, that woman, Siggy, she was big. She was like Republican.
MAGA, though, before it was
I think
cool
she was off
MAGA.
the show before MAGA came along, but she was big. She was always going to like Republican parties and stuff like that. Oh, but yeah, the OC, I was like, yikes, this girl's being shamed as she should. It's crazy.
Yeah, but you can be shocked at all these wealthy people.
This was
California.
This was like maybe George W. Bush-ish era to like Obama. The first
this is
round?
like Mitt Romney against
she's like
Obama
a Mitt
era.
Romney, a Republican, which is fine. But that's interesting. I'm fascinated though by Tammy's two daughters. I did find out in 2023, one of the daughters, Lindsay, went missing.
What?
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you remember Tammy from the seasons like 2 and 3? Her daughter, Lindsay, the blonde, skinny one that was friends with Cara.
I didn't know she went missing though.
Yeah, she it wasn't like crazy, but so
Just a smattering of missing.
Yeah, it was, what year was this? 2023. So in January of 2023, Lindsay had called her mom and sounded like she was in trouble from Las Vegas. But then Tammy couldn't get like a hold of her, so she put on Facebook like, has anyone heard from Lindsay, blah, blah, blah. She was on the strip. She said she needed money, like whatever. Lindsay also had been arrested many times for like drug use and yeah. And so eventually they did find her like a few weeks later. And she's just like on the strip of Las Vegas.
With like a dead
doing
cell
drugs.
Phone. No,
yeah, because she
sad.
originally called Tammy from not her cell phone.
Oh, that's scary.
And then Tammy couldn't get a hold of her, so she filed the missing persons. They found Lindsay. Because she called her mom and was like, "I'm fine. I just need money." Yikes.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
Sad. Who else is on the show? This girl Quinn, who I fucking hate.
I don't remember her.
She was a cougar. You don't remember the cougar?
No, not based on the name. She looks a little familiar, but no, I don't remember her as much.
Good, because that means she's not going to be around long. Yeah.
Well, this show has also been on for 19 years, so like,
yeah, that's true.
I was watching this in middle school.
Yeah, but you remember the ones that are important. And thank God Quinn's not going to be around. I mean, Vicky per always. Woohoo! Love her, but she's terrible. I love what a control freak she is. And her kids are just like, she's fucking crazy.
They're just like, let her be.
And she's like, I'm not crazy. Like, literally, she's yelling. And Brianna and Michael are like, can somehow ignore her. But like, Brianna's boyfriend, Colby, is straight up like, Vicky's so fucking weird, dude. Like, they all are like, Vicky's crazy.
But they're just, it's so, it's normalized. So it's easy to tune her out because they've been doing it their whole life. I miss this version of Real Housewives where it wasn't so serious and so salacious. Like, there was drama, but the problem is it's kind of like these stupid shows that we're watching, like Vampire Diaries. They keep having to level up on the drama to keep people interested. And so it just gets more and more severe. And now we're like throwing out cheating rumors about husbands and like lawsuits and like crazy shit.
No, this is it. Watching Vicky try to get ready for a trip to Mexico was so crazy. I could have watched it all day because then Michael has his friend and his girlfriend there, and Gina, Colby, and Cara are going on this trip too.
Yeah.
And they're like, my God, Colton fucking hates Vicky. Like, the kids are so involved. It's so funny.
I know.
And then
but think about it now. People have like racks of clothes that they buy specifically for these trips. So like planning and going on these trips are not as insane. And they all bring glam, and it's just like all organized with like an assistant now.
Yeah, this is way more fun. I mean, Lori then has her daughter Ashley, and they're all part of this OC Angels. I'd watch them take a driving test. That was hilarious. She also has her kid Josh, who I'm pretty sure I know he's like into drugs, which is very sad, but I also think Lori probably didn't give him the attention he was like screaming for.
Yes.
Lori loves to date. She's with George. She's got her man George. Yeah, and Sophie, her favorite kid, very obviously. But these women are so interesting because they never hang out. And then they like get together once or twice. And then they're like, this is crazy.
It was more about their like own individual lives.
Yeah, I kind of miss that.
Me too.
I love, when I tell you, I could watch Vicky, Brianna, and Michael in a room together forever. Those three are so stupid.
Michael's well, get ready because Brianna becomes like a like side character on the show, like in 10
Are her and
seasons.
Colby still together?
No.
So they never had sex?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Vicky's very big on no sex, and Brianna and Colby are saving themselves for marriage.
She marries a guy in the military.
Ooh.
And she has to move away at some point, and it is terrible.
Oh, Vicky's gonna hate that.
Yeah.
Is Michael still with that girl Lauren? Probably not.
No.
The Boulder girl.
No.
I do love Michael though getting into insurance, and Vicky is so funny. She will not let this kid breathe.
On her like last season, he's like working for her.
Yeah.
And it's the same energy where he's just like, leave me alone. Just like 19 years later.
She takes him to Seattle because she knows he won't learn from her.
Yeah.
And he's like, the cameras were so involved with the kids. Michael is taking us around the office and he's like, this is the really exciting part where I get to staple papers together. And he staples them and he's like, if my mom was here, she'd tell me I'm stapling wrong. Cut to Vicky finding him and going, the staple is supposed to go this way, not that way. Next time you do it, go this way.
My God.
And he literally is just laughing at her.
I need to rewatch this.
It's so funny that seasons 2 and 3 are hilarious of this show. I'm giggling at my desk at work.
Yeah. When Gretchen shows up is when things start to go like a little bit toxic. Not that Gretchen's toxic, that the cast just gets, it's like, why did we do this to her?
I also need to rewatch your timeline on Tamra. May I just ask, what happens with her son Ryan? Does he get arrested?
A lot happens with him. I didn't even put the Ryan stuff in there because...
Are they not close? Those two, there's no way those two are
No,
close.
they are because she got pregnant when she was young with him.
Well, yeah.
And so it's
but
constantly...
Simon hates Ryan.
Yeah. So it's constantly a battle on the show about where you're at, about Ryan. But like Simon and Tamra get divorced. And so...
Oh, yeah.
She's not really like fighting with a significant other about Ryan. Now she has to be kind of like the bad guy and do it herself. Like she can't be like having Simon there, I think was helpful because it gave Ryan some guardrails that like Tamra didn't have to put up herself. And so you just kind of see Ryan like go off the deep end. I think he just always has been a little troubled. And then
I mean, he didn't grow up with a father. He had an 18-year-old mother who, props to Tamra for like, raising Ryan on her own as an 18-year-old.
But Tamra starts to get wild. So then it becomes, I think, like, how dare you yell at me? Like, they kind of are in a wild phase in this similar path, but he's just like getting tattoos and things that she deems as like crazy. Yeah. And it was crazy at that time. He gets like fully tatted up and it's just like chaotic parental.
Well, he also like
fighting.
Doesn't have a job. He's like fighting with Simon. I get it to an extent, but I think because Tamra got pregnant so young, it's more of like her and Ryan are friends.
Yes.
I mean, he fucking is like holding her underwear at one point, and I was like, this is so fucking weird. That's her son.
And she starts to get more money, so then like I think he just gets worse because she will just give him money and he doesn't really do anything with his life. But he does turn around eventually.
Okay, good. I'm rooting for him.
But then it takes another deep turn because he just is a terrible human being.
Ugh. I'm like at the point where I'm rooting for him. He just keeps like I know he hates his job, but I'm like, just work your manual
Some of it is like
job.
There's a lot of like looking down upon him because it was the times, like we hated the tattoos and like now it's just more normalized, like kids drinking and like all the stuff he was doing is not that crazy. But because he's constantly being scolded, I think then it gets worse.
Yeah. Oh, I love the kids partying and how cameras were just like at their underage parties. It was such a time. And I love that Cara of Gina Keogh's kids hates alcohol. So she's berating everyone, which is so stupid. Like I would have been like, who invited her? Like get her out. But there's something very interesting about the parenting styles of all the different women that I'm also very interested. Like Gina Keogh does not discipline her children.
No.
Like Shane is really mean to his younger brother and like nothing fucking happens to him for the first season. She's like, that's just siblings. And I'm like, no, but he's like mean. He's like, and like obviously her husband is a fucking loser. I think though he has brain damage, truly, but
Oh, no.
because he got hit with the ball.
I kind of forgot about that.
He's never been the same. That's what they keep saying since he got that huge concussion. I'm like, I think he has a brain injury, y'all. But he's also very unpleasant to be around. Like, truly, I see why she's separated from him. Like, Vicky is so overbearing.
Yeah.
But her kids are actually kind of on the straight and narrow, like, not really doing anything bad.
Yeah.
They aren't bad kids. Like, they've never had a bad
They
moment
are. She has
show.
like the best kids. I think, although she's overbearing, I don't think she's so
she needs
unpleasant.
to be. Yeah, but she doesn't need to be overbearing with them.
But I feel like the way like people are overbearing with Ryan leads him to like doing more and being worse. Whereas like Vicky's just overbearing in her like.
They laugh at her. They don't like take her seriously. Yeah. But I think, Brianna and Michael at their core are just like normal teenagers. Yes. Like that maybe drink a little.
It's like Vicky's personality, not necessarily her being like so hard on them and like.
Yeah. But they are really, it like surprises me. They're really good kids. Like they just really are.
And they stay really good.
Gina Keogh's kids are like, I think good kids, but I think to each other, they're like, I don't think they're very nice kids, if that makes sense. Like I think they're good and not doing anything bad. But like Shane's very inappropriate. Like he made comments to Tammy about her boobs and I was like, that's really inappropriate.
Yeah.
Like I think
they're
don't
the
know
middle
the
ground.
Yeah. And then like Lori's kids, it's hard because like one's young and then Ashley's kind of, I don't really know. Could go either way. I think Ashley overall is like a fine kid. Yeah. But she doesn't seem to have much drive, which is a concern.
I wonder if that's like something that consistently happens in that area because these people are like wealthy enough that
I think
don't really
so.
Learn the value of a dollar.
I'm going to be an OC angel and sell this energy drink and that's my career path. And I was like, oh my God, no, stop. Stop doing this. And then Tammy, she's very hands off with her girls. She, if anything, is pushing them in the real world because their dad died and now the wife gets all the money. That's not Tammy.
Oh my God.
The mail order bride is what they call this woman. It's crazy. But that now they're like poor, but they want to like,
that's what's wild is like the early seasons. They're not like loaded.
Well, Tammy especially is very broke compared to the other women.
But like rich people broke where they just don't have a lot of cash flow, but they like have a house. They like, they're kind of fine, but she has to work, She
works and she can't give her, because it used to be her daughters got all the money from their dad. Yes. And then the dad passed and has no will. So all the money goes to his other wife who is now not paying any of the bills. So these daughters are like working and now they're like not used to like
they used to have like money to go spend on like the mall. So it's like, it's the extra stuff that they used to have in life.
And then Lori's husband, George, has this daughter who's like such spoiled rich kid energy. Like she's like, it's sad they don't have any money. And I'm like, oh my God, y'all are in Miami. You can find cheap, fun shit to do.
I know.
Oh, it's so interesting. Sorry, I had
but like
to talk
people
about
also used to like not go into credit card debt to like have all this stuff. Like now that's just so normalized that like people just buy and are like, whatever, it's fine. I'll pay it off later.
It's very weird to be like somehow Vicky's like the healthiest home. Like it's so and she works. And no. She like I think where I'm at right now. She's a working mother. She's showing like she owns her own business. Her kids are on like a really good path. Sure, she's got her issues with her husband. What's his name? Don. And they like these two love to drink. My God, put a drink in front of Vicky and she's in on it. Don too, love an alcoholic beverage, these two. But like overall, if I had to be a part of a family, I might pick Vicky's family.
Well, Vicky's family is interesting compared to like Tammy because Vicky wants to work. It's because she's like hustle and like loves that and like has that energy. It's not like, oh, to sustain us, I have to work. So Vicky's storyline of working is also different.
That's true. Tammy doesn't like want to work, but she has to.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I don't think I'd want to be a part of the Keogh family.
My God. No.
I don't know. But Gina Keogh like cracks me up. Her friendship with Vicky, those two are funny. I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time on this show. I really am.
I'm glad you are.
I had to talk about it.
It is, I think, one of the most solid franchises. It like doesn't have as much of a downturn. And when they have a downturn, because it's the OG, I think they are more sensitive to it. So when it does have like maybe an off season, they really get in there quickly and like resolve it. Like there's a down season around, I think like season 12 or 13. And that's when they bring Tamra back. Because Tamra like leaves for I think 2 seasons.
They also are very good at like they had Joe at first, who was kind of like the Bethany Frankel of like she's like this poor like comparatively to the rest of the women. She's like dating that guy Slade. Yeah. It's also a small world because like Slade is still talked about, and then Joe shows up. And Joe is crazy. I gotta be honest. This woman is like, I know she's 21 or 23 or whatever. She's certifiably so immature.
I always thought it was crazy she was on it.
And it's crazy that she's literally 23.
I didn't realize that. That scares
me. Baby.
Oh my God.
There's something weird. Anyway, are you listening to anything?
I'm not, but I didn't listen to these, but I did see 4 Bravo podcasts launched like this week. 2 from Real Housewives of New York from the newbies. Giudice dropped a podcast, and I forget the last one.
Doing what?
I don't know.
What's she talking about?
I don't know. Oh, Bravo. This is what pisses me off. Bravo on their like Daily Dish put out an article and was like, oh, she's taking a pause from like law school. And everybody in the comments is like, she's not taking a pause. She never started. Like she did poorly on the LSATs. So like she's not going to law school. Okay, stop saying she's pivoting.
There's no episode out yet, but it's called Casual Chaos, where your favorite Jersey girl is finally telling her story, unfiltered, unedited, unapologetically.
Rude to take our line.
What's our unapologetically full. It's so fucking rude. From moments you didn't see on camera to secrets nobody's dared to tell. Gia is bringing you behind the scenes like never before. She's talking love life because let's be real, there's been a journey, wellness, and the truth behind the headlines. And of course, she's got the receipts. Plus, she'll be sitting down with some of the biggest names in pop culture for casually chaotic conversations. My God, you won't hear anywhere else. So pour yourself an espresso martini and get ready, because once you start listening, you'll be waking up in the morning thinking about so many things. ... What am I thinking about?
Also, telling people to pour an espresso martini to listen to your show is diabolical.
I gotta get drunk to listen to you. Here's my thing. So is she gonna tell her story from the beginning, or is this more like an interview podcast, or is it both?
I don't know. Listen, my Bravolebs, I want you to be the pop culture. I don't want you to comment on the pop culture.
It ruins the sheet, you know? The sheet that I...
like you're the one who is supposed to be talked about, not doing the talking.
Ugh, terrible. I'm listening to, speaking of Brittany Broski earlier, she released a fucking song, dude.
I saw that. Did you repost that? Or
yes.
Okay, I saw that somewhere.
She sounds amazing. She's doing a cover of Adore You by Harry Styles. Holy, I didn't know she could sing.
I didn't either.
I heard like people like some podcaster that she's friends with was like, you know what I hate about Brittany Broski is she can also sing really well. And I just thought like she sings on her podcast a little and she has like a little talent.
Yeah.
But holy shit, she's got a voice of an angel. And I reposted it and it was like, to think this all happened to her because she took a sip of kombucha, which I think is extra funny.
Agreed.
Because if you don't know, she's the kombucha girl, and then her meme got started, and it was, maybe, but she got really big on gay Twitter. I don't know if you knew this.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Where then people were putting her face to like when you try anal for the first time, and then it was the meme.
Oh my God.
And the bank she worked at in Texas fired her because of it. So she literally went, I guess I'll try and be a content creator then. And then it took off. Like it's all because she took a sip of kombucha.
Well, it's like one of those things that once your face becomes recognizable, you can basically do anything.
Well, she wasn't even gonna be a content creator. It's like the funniest part. It's the fact that she got fired and she was like, well, what do I do?
Here's the thing. If I get fired, if I get laid off in this terrible economy we're in, I am going hard.
Yeah, I'm a content creator, I guess. It was so funny, though, that like she didn't even mean to. It's all because she took a sip of kombucha. And now look at her.
Those are the people I want because then they're relatable and they're just normies who also have a platform.
Also, I'll fight. Brittany Broski is my favorite influencer of the times. I find her so unapologetically herself. She says whatever she's thinking. She does whatever she wants, but she's so unproblematic about it too. Like, she actually is on the good fight, but she's funny about it. Like, she has talked about all the crushes she's had. Not to bring up her Cole Sprouse interview again, but at 19, she was writing on Tumblr fanfic about Cole Sprouse. She then, this could be so embarrassing, right? But no,
she read it aloud to him?
She prints it out and gives him the script that she wrote about him coming back from the Gulf War, a changed man, and he's married to her. And he read it and he was like, this is kind of good. And she's like, isn't it crazy? I was like fantasizing about you. And to anyone else, it would be so embarrassing, but it's so funny with her. She also did a whole thing where she was like she was talking about how in love she is with Paul Mescal, and then she got to interview him. She's talked about how hot Timothée Chalamet is, and then she interviews him.
She's just putting that into the universe, and she gets it back.
She just is speaking it, and she's so funny. She's so funny about it, and that's the kind of open and honesty I want to live my life with. And she's just so good. Oh my God, I love Brittany Broski and everyone who associates with it. Well, everyone she deems acceptable to associate with her.
Okay.
If she supports you, I support you too, because I love Brittany Broski.
It's the green stamp of approval.
And there have been moments that people she's associated with have then done very problematic things. And she has spoken out against them then and been like, this is not how I want my brand to be perceived, because like, that's not who I am. And I'm like, yeah, Brittany Broski for the win. And if she ever does become problematic, I'm literally gonna die, because who do I root for? You know,
that'd be hard.
Only
I don't
Brittany
think she
Broski
will. I don't think she'll turn against.
I mean, she's a white woman. It could happen, but I don't think the masses are against.
It seems
Brittany
like she's
Broski.
Very aware too.
Yeah,
it seems like if she ever screws up, because we're all human.
Yeah,
she would apologize correctly, not with a notes app.
She's also just having a fun time reading her fantasy books, thinking of hot men.
That's it. Like,
she is all of us.
She's busy.
You know? She can do a perfect British accent. She's so funny, dude. I love Brittany Broski. Anyway, go listen to her song. It's so good. That's it. Oh, great. What a great show. A Saturday morning. Let's go watch the NCAA now.
Let's do it. Well,
great.
Thanks for joining. Bye.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.